Hey, Coach Larry here again. Today's topic is corrals or our corrals. Um, get into your corral. Get into the corral you belong in. If you are jumping corrals, the only time you should be jumping corrals is if your fitness is higher than when you started. When you jump in corrals because you want to start a race earlier, all you're doing is impeding other runners. I was recently at San Diego Rock and Roll, and there were runners who were walking, who were in corral one, and were walking 500 meters into the race. You should not be in corral one. You should be in corral 20. You may think this is a mean thing to say, but it's not. You are actually impeding the race. I've been in races with 4 or 5 thousand people where I'm going to finish in the top five, top seven people of the race, and I will start the race in uh, 50th, 60th place easily. And there are just people in my way, people who are starting to walk, and I have to go around you. I'm not expecting anyone who's at the front of a race or anyone who jumped out in a race in front of me to stop and start walking suddenly. Um, when you do that, you impede other runners. Also, by not being in your corral, you stop the flow of the race. You make it harder to start the race. So you could take a race of 5,000 people and probably start it in just a matter of minutes if everybody was actually where they belong. Because all would happen would become a peloton. You say go, everybody would string out slowly. Um, but when you're in the wrong corral, people are busy trying to go around you and get to where they belong. You're impeding their progress. On the topic of impeding progress, if you are on a course that is divided and you see the second half of the road is open for either the second lap or the elite runners coming around, you should get out of their way. People, I've seen this repeatedly, and it's more and more over the last 2 years, 3 years maybe, that people seem to think that they're entitled to run in a certain spot. You're not. You're supposed to be in your lane, and the open lane is for the elite runners. It's for the elite runners because they are coming through at sub 5 minute pace, and you are walking. Why should they have to go around you? They didn't run sub 5 minute pace. They didn't run sub 5 minute pace simply because they woke up and they could run sub 5 minute pace. They trained for it. They put in the miles. They put in the time. Now, this isn't saying that you didn't put in the time, but you're in your place. You're in your place where you belong, and that route is open for them so that they can race. Um, this happened at San Diego 2015, I believe. I was yelling. I was literally yelling at runners to move over and get out the way for impeding the fast runners. And people would actually turn around, would actually say runner back. People would turn around, look, and then stay right where they're at, walking 2 and 3 abreast in the leader's lane. Get out of the leader's lane. Be polite. They worked hard too. They got up, put in that 70, 80, 90, 100 miles a week. And because you feel like being rude, feel like being self entitled, you're in their way. Um, this topic's leading to more. Self entitled runners. Self entitled runners. Um, Not everyone, when you go to a 5K, 10K road race, the reason these races cost so much now is because the running community now some all of a sudden believes that it should get a medal for should get a medal for every single race they do, period. I showed up to the race, I won a medal because I finished. Um, it used to be that 5Ks, 10Ks, and even some halves, you would show up to a race, you would get your race shirt, and then if you placed in the race, you would get an award. Or in half marathons, if you placed in your age group, you would get an award. The only thing that everyone got a finisher medal was for a marathon, and that was fair. Now races cost so much because everyone is self entitled to believe I deserve a race, I deserve a medal. Um, and the sad part about it is a lot of those people who believe they deserve the medal, they're the ones who also don't put in the work. They don't get up 4 and 5 days a week and go and do their runs. Um, training for most races should be training for most races for most of the public should be about 5 days a week. There are certain circumstances where 4 days a week works, but for most people, it should be 5 to 7 days a week. Not everybody can run every day. Not everybody should run every day. But being self-entitled about your running is, if you want to be self-entitled about your running, you should do it solo. Yeah, none of this may make it into the video, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, so corrals. Stay in your corral. It'll make the race run smoother. It'll make the start faster. And it'll make the other runners, it's being polite to the other runners. Cheers.